Hi, I'm Crystal Ballard. Reading, writing, and making critical judgments about ideas are a big part of our everyday life. Whether we are writing a term paper, engaging in a class discussion, emailing a message, or talking with our friends about sports, fashion, or the latest video game, we are always reading, forming our own opinions, and communicating those ideas and opinions to others in conversation or in writing. If you have a job, you're probably using these skills all of the time with your supervisors, coworkers, and clients. Since these are such essential skills in being successful in college, your career, and in life, CUNY developed Task 1 of the CPE to test critical reading and writing skills to make sure that you have mastered them. In this program, we'll look at the role that reading, writing, and critical thinking play in our lives and how they are an essential part of what we learn at CUNY. You'll hear from successful people from different professions who use these skills daily. We'll give you a detailed overview of Task 1. CUNY faculty, including Professor Ken Anderson, an experienced teacher on preparing for the CPE, will take you through Task 1, covering how it's scored and test preparation tips. The most important thing to remember about Task 1 is that these are skills you're already using in your classes and that most students pass the CPE. Now let's take a look at what we mean by reading and writing critically.
Almost all writing at the college level is a response to something that was read. Therefore, reading is the first step in the learning process.
Critical reading means the ability to question the assumptions of any writer, to bring that together with your past knowledge and experience, to compare several authorities writing on the same subject, and to understand the relationship amongst different texts.
Critical writing is all academic writing. Critical writing, or just academic writing, is the ability to write as a voice in a particular discipline. Writing is not just a means to express your best thinking on a topic or in a subject. It is that thinking itself.
You use these critical reading and writing skills in your classwork no matter what your major is, whether it's the liberal arts, health, or career fields.
In the business curriculum, in every aspect of the business curriculum, whether it's business communications, business math, and whether it's marketing, entrepreneurship, they're pretty much picking up on these skills. They have to be able to take research, they have to take information, they have to make sure that it is relevant to the case that they're trying to build up. They have to be able to write, communicate in a way that is clear for the audience. They have to be brief but not cryptic. They have to be able to, present their ideas in a cogent manner.
Speech has a great deal to do with critical thinking, because when you prepare for a speech, you need to create an outline. And an outline absolutely requires that you understand how to develop ideas, how to break down ideas into smaller units, how to order ideas, and how to group ideas that belong together.
These skills are also necessary for success in the workplace. Whatever field you choose, you will need to read, develop informed opinions, and write about them in the form of letters, memos, emails, reports, and proposals. Let's talk to people in the fields of human resources and nursing to see how they use these skills. Let's first talk with Philip Barry, the Chief Diversity Officer at Colgate-Palmolive. He graduated from BMCC in 1971.
I am the Chief Diversity Officer here, developing programs to attract, retain, and develop diverse talent on a global basis. I do nothing but read. If you look around my office, you see a lot of books. And the reason I have these books is because I have to keep myself informed of different employment trends that are taking place, what's happening with the state of diversity on a global basis, what's happening with business as I look around the world. When you talk about critical thinking, that's the root of it all. The root of it all is to be intelligent and to have a fact-based approach to what you're talking about. That's my job. My job is taking in information, it's synthesizing this information and putting it together so that others can understand and relate to it.
When you are working in the medical professions, you have to deal with reading, writing, and critical thinking all of the time. You have to know how to read charts, write treatment plans, and make critical decisions about patients. Let's speak with Judy Eng, a BMCC nursing professor, about her experience as a nurse.
We have to understand the patient. How do we understand the patient? We have to read the patient's charts. We have to analyze the patient's charts and tease out the information, such as read through the chart quickly and find really important information, such as allergies, medications that they may be on, any kind of procedures that they have had or tests that they have had in the past that plays a big role in their care during the hospitalization. As a nurse practitioner, we may need help from other disciplines, whether it's a specialist, whether it may be a dietitian, a physical therapist, and that's where documentation comes in. For example, if I'm going to make a referral to a cardiologist, I need to give specific information that the cardiologist would need to have as a baseline. I don't give every information. I don't think the cardiologist really needs to know about a patient's a prostate history if it's not pertinent to their heart. So that's where you as a practitioner would need to tease out and figure out which is more important for right now. But you can't know all of that until you've done this whole process of critical thinking and reading, basic knowledge of reading and writing skills.
Professor Ken Anderson and others will take us through Task 1. You'll see how critical reading and writing are essential parts of this task. Don't worry if you don't remember everything. This information is covered in depth in other sources such as workshops, the CPE Student Information Booklet, websites, online tutorials, and CD-ROMs.
Task 1 tests your ability to understand, analyze, and synthesize information from 2 different readings. You'll get Reading Selection A, a long reading before the test to study, and Reading Selection B, a shorter reading at the examination. You'll then have 2 hours to write an essay that incorporates the 2 readings and includes your own perspective. When you register for the CPE at your college testing office, you will receive Reading Selection A, which is about 8 to 10 pages long. You can also download it from your college website or the CUNY portal. You should get this 2 or 3 weeks before the examination. In preparing for the CPE, you should study and work on the reading selection as if it was an assignment that you were doing for your classes. Read it carefully, highlight major points, identify major themes, and summarize sections. You should think about how your own experiences and knowledge relate to the points made by the author. Any notes and annotations you make on the reading itself, you can bring with you to the exam. As part of the preparation, you are encouraged to go over the reading selection with other students who are preparing for the same CPE by going to your college's Task 1 peer study groups. On the day of the examination, bring your annotated copy of Reading Selection A with you. At the examination, you will receive Reading Selection B, which is about 1.5 pages long. In addition, you will also get the Task 1 writing assignment. The writing assignment gives you instructions on how to write your Task 1 essay. You'll be expected to write an essay on a specific topic that incorporates reading selections A and B with your own ideas, thoughts, and perspectives. You should familiarize yourself with the format of the writing assignment before the exam. This is important because the format does not change from exam to exam.
I would definitely tell students just to read the main reading, that analytical reading, as many times as possible. Maybe I only read it like 4 or 5 times, maybe read it 8, 10, a dozen times so that they can be very, very clear about it. So they don't even need to refer to it come test time, so that they have that stored deep in their memory bank. So when that second reading comes along, they know exactly how to relate the first reading with the second. That's really the key to success.
Your Task 1 essay will be scored by 2 independent readers.
Notice how similar Task 1 is to class assignments you've already done. The best way to prepare for this part of the exam is to take all of the workshops related to Task 1.
When I saw that the workshops were available, I took advantage. I went to most of them or all of them. Whatever I had time to go to the workshop, I went, and it was very helpful. I learned how to read the information and just understand what I was reading.
Now, let's see how Task 1 is scored. Knowing about the scoring rubric, also known as the scoring guide, will help you prepare for the exam and do well on it.
When you look at the scoring rubric for Task 1, you see a grid that describes many things in little boxes. And it's kind of hard to take in the first time you look at it. So let's talk about it in general. Scoring a Task 1 essay means paying attention to 4 major things. The first thing is how well did the student in writing the essay fulfill the assignment. So this talks to the general issue that you're familiar with. How good a paper did you write as a whole? The second thing that you're going to be scored on is how well did you understand the readings? And there we're judging how well the summaries that you put into your paper of reading number 1 and reading number 2, how well do those summaries address the question that you were asked? The third thing that we're concerned about is how well you use the readings as a part of your essay. And here you need to convince the person scoring that you could explain when you were quoting from the readings or paraphrasing them and when you were expressing your own ideas. And then finally, we're concerned about the comprehensibility of your ideas. That means how well could the reader easily understand what you were talking about. In each of the 4 categories that are judged in scoring Task 1, there are 6 levels of achievement. So a paper might be scored anywhere from 1 to 6 in each of the 4 categories that we've mentioned. Papers in which students are achieving something like competency in handling the challenge of the test get scores in the 3 and 4 range. And papers of students who have done an outstanding job on the exam generally get scores in the range of 5 or 6 in that particular category.
One of the best ways to understand the scoring of the Task 1 essay is to read the CPE Student Information Booklet. You can review past CPE exams and actual student essays for Task 1, including how they were scored. Now, let's go over some test preparation tips for Task 1. You actually started to prepare for the CP when you walked into your first class at CUNY. As you move towards your 45th credit, you will see that you are doing many of them as part of your class assignments and everyday life. Connect what you are learning with your own experiences, knowledge, and observations. Relate what you have learned in one class to what you are learning in other classes. The most important thing is to read. Read widely. Besides textbooks, read newspapers, magazines, and books. Don't avoid courses that require writing. The more you write, the more comfortable you'll be writing. Now let's look at specific CPE test-taking tips. Familiarize yourself with the CPE Student Information Booklet. Attend Task 1 related workshops. Obtain and prepare Reading Selection A as early as possible. Study it thoroughly. Familiarize and thoroughly understand the elements of the Task 1 writing assignment before the exam. The format and the basic requirements for the essay are always the same.
Finally, it's important to give credit where credit is due. If you use someone else's words or ideas in your essay, you must acknowledge where those words or ideas come from.
You can learn more about the CP by logging onto your college website or contacting your CP coordinator on campus. We'll learn more about Task 2 in the next program. We hope you found this program useful. Be sure to learn more about Task 1. Good luck.